everybody, Reaper X1 here, flying through the air in a big pink build that I've been working on, and you might have seen this one before, but first I do want to thank you for joining me, and I do want to welcome you as we're going to try and make a good one happen out of this frickin' mess. Look at this thing, it's flip-flopping all over the place. Man, it's like 3 foot of hair in a windstorm. It's everywhere, it's everywhere. So you may have seen this one before. This is my piggy build that I was working on a long time ago, and I kind of got away from it due to, well, a little bit of this and a lot of lag and crashes. So the game's come a long way in the last while, so I figured maybe I should just revisit that a little bit. Thinking that I think we could do something better, especially now that, like, look at this thing, it's all over the place. There's no real propellers on it at all. This is just what the hover glitch is doing to it. I do have rockets in it, but they're only for landings, so after a little while, well, things got bad, and, well, there's a little bit of the piggy. I don't know if we're ever going to see the rest of it, but I know I lost it way up there, so I want to see if I can find it. No, there's a little bit more just coming down in parts. I don't know what happened. I was going along real good, and then all of a sudden, I tried to do the anchor thing, and then it just basically treated me like I died. No, there's a lot. But it put me right underneath where I was. So it was kind of weird. I'm not sure what happened there. But yeah, as you can see, there's still parts falling. Now, a lot less than I thought there would have been, honestly. Like, that piggy had quite a few bricks in it. I'm kind of interested to see, like, how high am I going to still see bricks? I can't remember how far up I was on the last. Well, I haven't seen any in a bit, but anyway, I think this piggy needs a little rebuild. So we're just going to eliminate some stuff here. We'll get rid of these ones. Just because I think the hover glitch is the big problem with this build. I'll drop that crap out of here. Get out of the way. I can't see. Just because it's constant force. It never stops. It's always there. You lose control elements due to it. So I'm thinking I better reassess this build. And kind of think, well, what do I need to really redo? Is there stuff I can do better? Is there things I can fix? Is there stuff that just isn't working the way I thought it would, or that it should even? Sometimes you find a nice little workaround, slide on by, even when others may be having problems. It's one of those things, you can share the info, help others out. But that's what I was hoping to find. As you can see here, this setup is just not working 100%. I was hoping it would be able to work on twice as much with 8 component factories and fully maxed out, like with all the levels of dongles. Not dongle, funny word. But yeah, it has issues. It starts to just pass things by. So as you can see here, we got quite a bit of stuff coming through, but nothing really being sucked in. So it's grabbed some stuff, and then it said, well, that took too long, so I'm going to grab some more. And, well, it kind of screws things up. But what can you do? You can try and hope, see what happens. So we got a fair bit of it built. We'll let that one run off there. Let's see what we get. Oh, Big Bertha. Yeah. I bet you that pig's screaming after that one. Woohoo! That'd be a hell of an oink. That thing tear you up. But I realized we need a fairly big overhaul. So we're going to do this upright. And we're going to get this thing knocked out to where it's going to do us favors. As you can see, we have reworked the inside quite a bit. Now what I got going on is I got silos for all the components in. I have all their conveyor lines set. Now the big silos feed smaller filter silos. So everything everything, every resource in the game and component has its own spot. So there's a filter silo somewhere along the hopefully shortened crafting route. That was the idea. That we can have at least 10 of anything, of everything, all at a time, and we can have all this is going to be our backup. So it's constantly wanting to fill those filter silos. And then plus we get all that fits on the lines, conveyor lines going to it. So I'm thinking that's going to be a really good way of keeping the crafting going. So what I want to do here is just kind of see what is happening. We got her all filled up, a whole whack of components. We threw a little magic at it. And we got some resources down there. We just used some treasure blocks for those. I really wish we had treasure blocks for unrefined and components. That's such a big thing that's missing. So I think that would be amazing. Make the component ones crates. Different than the crates we find already. So we can craft them, we can store them, and we can bring them back. Or we can scrap them, store them, and bring them back. That would be so amazing. Hey, we got a gigaton at his butt. He didn't scream as much as the Big Bertha on that one. But yeah, it's about time to do a little bit of crafting testing here. So we're going to see what we can build. Like you saw, we got a whole whack of inventory in there. So we shouldn't have any problems building stuff for at least a little while. We're just going to run through. We're going to set this one to repeat. We're just going to let all 4 of them go. And we're going to see what happens. I got a feeling it ain't going to work. But we're going to try it and we're going to see. And who knows? Maybe it will surprise us. I would love a surprise. Well, it's spitting out rockets. Geocore rocket's pretty good. Oh, I see a Venture Rapid Cannon. Oh, a Bertha! A Bertha! See if we get a magnet on there. Pull things away. We get rid of him. All in all, yeah, it had a few issues. It did craft a bunch, as you can see there. But it seems to have been hung up on something. So as you can see, it's wanting the red oleite, and it's letting it just fly right on by. So I guess maybe this one has some issues still. Oh. But honestly, I don't care. So that's the way it's supposed to work. From all my learnings. So I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm just going to keep on building. And if the crafting doesn't work, I don't cares. Because this will still be a big old piggy that can take some people down. And when I'm done, hopefully, just hopefully, any bugs will be squished. And it'll at least be fun, just even if it doesn't craft. I don't care. If it can't poop out blocks, that's fine. But let's see what we can do with it. We put a few new blocks in her here and there, sporadically, and kind of going with the balance idea of it. And so far with the anti-grav, it is very controllable. Now, what I do see here is having a problem with getting to stop rotating. So I'm thinking some of those passive gyros would be a good idea. Just because as soon as you stop trying to do something, it should hopefully kick in and stop you from moving in an unwanted direction. Now that's my hopes. We're hoping. Big hopes. We're still early on. So we're going to try things. We're going to see how they go. And so far, you know, even without any gyros, it's working pretty good. It's just you can't stop it. So I want to be able to stop this thing over a target and be able to just rain hell down on it. Yeah, bring the brimstone. Yeah. Oh, careful, piggy. Careful. Oh, you broke your hoof. You chipped it. Oh, poor piggy. We'll fix you up, though, buddy. Don't worry. We don't leave our friends hanging. Oh. Crazy another day. Oh, you're having a bad one. Come on, figure it out. Figure it out, eh? There we go. This is one resilient piggy, I tells ya. There's no quitting this one. This side of bacon will beat anyone. So we got the anti-grav bag on. We're all charged up again. So one thing when you get a build like this, there's the same amount of balance testing as with any tech, if not more. Because, well, you put a block in this spot, well, how much does it really do? So there's going to be a lot of little testings and stuff like that, which they may not look like the tech has changed a lot, which it may not have, but the weight of the tech has changed. So you got to kind of keep an eye on it. So any of those big tech builders out there, or aspiring big tech, or as I call them, monster builders, ha ha ha. But if you're out there and you're hearing it, one thing you might want to really take note of is how these passive gyros work to help control roll and pitch and all that. And also that don't wait too long. Don't do too much in between testing. Because sometimes on these big builds, you think everything's balanced, everything's symmetrical, and then you go to try it out and you're flying it, and then it always wants to turn one way, or it always wants to nose down, or something, right? Well, that's why you got to really keep note on what you've put on what side, front, back, this, and that. I know it sounds like it makes it difficult, but really it doesn't. Like what I do a lot of the time is I select a certain area I want to build on. Like for this, there was the 4 legs. So 4 legs, I want to build them up to this point. So I worked on it, I built them up, I tested each as I added certain amounts of weight, or what I thought would be certain amounts of weight, and then see if it balances out nice. Now with the anti-grav, the nice thing about it is it's, for the ones I'm using, the Apple, I think, are they, anti-grav engines, they do 2/3 of weight reduction. So if you use 2 in a spot, you're already weightless, plus you're buoyant. You know what I mean? You'd float if you were in water. Actually, with 2 of them, you should be able to float out of water, because you were lighter than air. Now, as you've seen in this one, what I've been doing is I've been putting 3 in a spot. So that's why I'm really thinking that this build is already flyable. Because if you, as you see, the purple there, it's not completely covering everything. And it is pretty dang controllable. So it's lighter than air, I'm guessing. We'll say it's a helium-filled balloon with options to go in any direction. So it is pretty decent. I'm really getting a kick out of this. Now I know I made my little ballistic tech there not too long ago, and this thing runs honestly on the same kind of principles. Oh, we tripped. We caught on a skew or something there maybe. Oh, we were just a little too aggressive with things, but it's savable. But like I was saying, that it does run on the basic idea of the ballistic tech. You put some gyros, or add gyro, depending on the size, on all 4 corners. If you were to look at it front ways, you put them on all 4 corners. And then if you want to control the 4 up and down pitch of it, you put them on front and back. And that's what I plan on doing. This is like still, well, for this build, I'll say it's about maybe mid build, somewhere in there. There's still a lot to do, but out of what has been done, there's a lot done. So what I'm really hoping to accomplish is to have it balanced nicely, so when I take off, because I have it set up for when you're first taking off, you hit shift. So you get some uplift from the propellers and you get some forward motion. Now I would rather have it so I could just have pure uplift or down. Now you got the rocket set for down, so I have control that way. So control for the rockets, that'll lower you. Shift for the propellers, and that'll raise you up, plus shoot you forward. Now I would like this to have the option to have the up-facing propellers be activated with their own key or own button on the keyboard, but hopefully someday, but just not yet. Oh, and yet we have added a wee bit of firepower, just a little bit. We got some big man bombs under there, we got some cruise missiles, and we're not even done yet. Now, my main goal with this is to keep all the actual weaponry somewhat hidden, but still very effective, for one, and not seen. That's the whole hidden part, right? I don't want to be able to like load this tech in, look at it, first 10 seconds, snap of the fingers if you didn't hear it. I can't snap, I'm too dry. There we are. But I don't want to be able to notice the weapons right off the bat. Now, I have been thinking of putting some missiles on the side of the hooves. I may do that still. I'm not sure yet. But we are going to just kind of work at it. And the way I work at these big builds, you know, if anyone is wondering, is just work on what you think is important. Like, at first, I wanted to make it craft everything. Hold everything. Okay, got that in there. Then it was, I wanted to fly. Because that old saying, when pigs fly, I'm going to make it happen. That's what's going on here. So, but then I also wanted to make it craft and scrap and pick up resources. So we have all our resources. They get picked up in the hooves and brought up through the legs. All the crafting, or scrapping, I mean, is going to come through the mouth. And all the crafting is going to come out the butt. And we're, like I said, we're going to be able to attack stuff. We're going to be able to move around. We're going to be able to anchor. We're going to be a fully mobile, aerial, piggy-styled, super crafting base. That's what I'm going for. And as you can see, like this, honestly, this has been sped up. We all know this. There's no way this build would run at full frames and that fast. As you can tell, with the white sticking out the front, I'm at max limit. Because I do that, if anyone is wondering, so I know how much I have left before I hit my build limit. Especially when I'm looking for an aesthetics kind of thing. Oh, there we are. Like the piggy is. Things have to be proportionate, they have to be balanced, they have to be built well. So I do that with the white blocks or a specific block for that build. So I cannot build out too far on the back. So I know I'm going to have enough room at that front spot or whatever spot I need. So I can have a little bit of forgiveness. Oh, look at that. That was almost smooth. Man, we're starting to get the hang of these controls. Not quite. I did a bit of a bounce. And then I decided to play. So for the most part, this piggy is working out great. Like, I'm actually surprised at how good this has come. But with the anti-gravity, you know, it really does take a lot of the challenge out of it. Because when I first started building this tech, I had to use the hover glitch, so I'd always have upward lift. Now, I could have probably built it with propellers and rockets, this and that, and, you know, flutter the shift and control keys or whatnot. But this is just so much nicer with the anti-grav. You cannot go wrong with it. I can see many flying techs happening now that never would have. Just because a lot of people won't build the way I do. They won't put in the whole hours and hours of legginess to get something built. Which is how I started. Like, I started playing this game in, like, version 4.0. Or 0.4.0. If that tells you, it gives you an idea of how long I've been playing. And I was making monsters and multi-text back then. And now it's just gotten easier. The game's optimized better. Everything runs way better. The building options have been put in. At least a good chunk of them, like block painting. Didn't have that when I first started playing. Man, has that helped things out. Huge! Huge, I say. And as you can see here, this piggy came to life with all these new advancements that they put into this game. Because other than that, this piggy was never going to do this kind of stuff. It maybe fly like a really versatile airplane. Possibly. That was my goal when I originally started. But now, this thing's going to act like a drone. A hovercraft drone. If you know what I mean. Yeah, well, as you've seen, we got control over every axis pretty much. We can move forward. We can almost come to a full stop. Not quite yet, but we are working on it. We can strafe to some extent. We haven't quite got that balanced out yet, but it is something we're working on. And another little nice thing, you see right there, those slots on the side? Those are for fuel. So what I've set up is in each leg, there is one of the, what are they called, lots of silos from GSO. So they hold only fuel. And then you can turn them on and off by those filters. So I'm hoping that'll help us extend our flying time if we have resources. But already I'm planning on this thing being fully charged is going to go for a long time. But like I was saying, we have to get the scrapping figured out. So right about in here is ideal. If I can get my magnet to that position, I think. So far it's looked, yep. Venture's getting taken. Nice, nice. Let's see the Hawkeye. Oh, there it goes. Oh, there's Geocore. Nice. The Geocore were honestly the ones I was wondering about. The GSO and Venture were the ones I was worried about. Because I think they have a shorter pickup range for the scrappers. Actually, I'm pretty sure they do. Which is in itself a good and a bad thing. So after a little bit of crafting there, we figured, let's go do some flying. We added a few steering thrusters, a little bit more weight. All on batteries. Oh, she's still firing nice. That just blew up my belly though. Good thing it doesn't hurt us. Now, we're not fully done on the weapons under there, as you can see, but we're working on it. So now I want to do a real good test. One is a little less laggy. Having the multi-tech deal already, it was surprisingly laggier than it should have been for the amount of blocks. So it's like tech in tech, or too close to each other. That seems to be really affecting my frames per second on this one. Still going decent compared to when I first started playing this game, but still, it could be better. But that's coming. I'm pretty sure these guys, they're making huge steps all the time. But the one thing that has been kind of getting me is I've been doing all this work underneath, on the sides, this, and that, around the middle, and I have nothing in the middle yet. Now, originally I had planned on just putting a bunch of batteries. But then I got thinking, well, a little more forward momentum would be nice. A little quicker descent would be nice. So we're going to just try and alleviate that issue right here. Get this all built up the best we can. And yeah, we probably will put some batteries in. Boy. Oh, excuse me. I figure that right there, that should help with our lift. Hopefully balance us out. I put a few more on the front, I believe, if I remember my count right, compared to the back. And I'm also going to be able to put a lot more weight on the back end of the center here. So I'm hoping that really does help us balance from when we go to take off. Because I've noticed it really wants to nose forward. And while when the head's on there, that might actually drag on the ground, and I don't want to do that. to make my piggy have a stubbier nose than he already has, and that would be a bad day for a piggy. No piggy wants that action. Let's get everything kind of filled in here. And now you may notice I'm leaving more than a fair bit of room around my conveyors. I was thinking of like closing them right in as tight as possible, but still leaving like the 2 block space allowance for the resources to travel, this and that. But then I got thinking, well, I could leave a little more. Now I know a lot of blocks or a lot of resources will pass through other blocks, this and that, and all the different stuff when you're anchored. But it's when you're not anchored is what I'm worried about. Because this thing could have resources traveling around its conveyors at any given time. It won't craft all the time, but it could still have them moving around due to the mobile refineries, the the receivers and stuff. So I don't want nothing to bung up on me while I'm working. Or while I'm being mobile. Oh, I forgot some propellers. So that was my main thing, is that I also want to add in a little purge kind of idea for down underneath. I haven't really thought of how I want to run it yet, because all the ideas honestly turned out to this piggy having a pee-pee. I'm thinking of doing it because I think it might be funny, and it's more convenient to do than any other thing. So he might have a bathroom break here or there. We're going to find out. But that'll be a little farther down the road. I want to kind of get this piggy just about wrapped up as far as the middle and the head. I want to, before I really get into the fine details, my main goal right now is to get the head built and working. Because this being such a big build, it is going to be a multi-tech when it's assembled. Now what I'm hoping I can do is figure out a way so it can be built as one, use the explosive bolts and conveyors and resources, as long as that still works the same as it did last time I tried it, where resources move things on anchored techs, and then the piggy's head will be brought down into place that way, and the tail, it'll just be disconnected and flop down. It's the head that's the big challenge on that. But then the other thing is if I build the head where I'm gonna, I plan up on top of the back, because then it can come down or forward and then down into place. That if I build the head, I'm not going to be able to see anything inside, so I got to get this middle built up. As you can see, we've made some pretty decent progress. We're turning our anti-gravs on. And yeah, we're covered fairly good. We got a little bit on the sides we're going to have to deal with, and the head, of course. But so far, not too bad. We're going to get rid of that camera spring. Still moving, though. It'd be nice if there was no movement to the camera when you turn that off. Or down. But, like, look at that. It's just sitting there, basically, for us. It's only moving at 3 miles an hour now. Slowly coming down. But we can fix that. But we can also do front flips. Yeah. You ever seen a piggy do a front flip? I bet you haven't. Look at that. Moving nicely. So far, so good, I'd say. I'm pretty happy with this build. And look at this. You can actually place it right upside down. Sits nice. Spin her around like a top. But yeah, I'm getting really excited about how this build's going to turn out. I know it's going to lag things out. It's not going to be as fun as it could be if it ran at this speed while I'm playing. In case you missed it earlier, it does not run at this speed while I'm playing. It's a lot. It's at least 4 times slower. At least. Could be 6 or 8. Just because it is getting to be a max size build. Like, now that I have that square frame on top, it's pretty much maxed out for the height. It's real close to being maxed out on length. width is about the only thing I have a few blocks to spare, and not many there either. But we're going to make things happen. We're going to do what we can. We got back end kind of put on them now, a few more solar gens. I just got tired of always having to wait 15 minutes or so. Most of the time I was adding my own little extra generator or solar gen farms down around the feet just so it'd speed up. But we're going to just kind of play with it and we'll work along, and if we think we need even more solar gens, we will use them. I say we will. But for the most part, now that I got the middle done in the guts, I'm kind of thinking if I get the sides of that done, close all them conveyor lines in, I'll be a lot happier. And then from there, it'll be a great time to get working on the head. But I don't think I'm going to get to that rate today. It'll be coming eventually. It's just there's a lot of little other things that I want to make sure. Like now that we got that all built up, we've made a few little changes, nothing extreme. Kind of got all our conveyor lines, lots of room here. This is the one spot. Oh, crap. Nah, we got pulled up too high. Downside trying to go through them tight little spots, eh? And for the most part, that's what's inside it. There we go, we're out. So yeah, there's a heck of a lot of blocks in here. There's still a bunch more to go and a whole lot of pink that turns purple with anti-grav. That's one thing I wish they'd kind of do away with. Maybe have it pulse once in a while, just so we know it's active. But my pink pig is more purple than pink. And I even use light pink to go get away from that. Well, look at that. Spins all over. Now right here is what I got going on. Is I'm going between forward and reverse. I'm rolling. I'm also turning sideways. And I'm pitching up and down. To try and use as many different directions as possible. To see if anything gets prioritized as far as controls go. Like what's more important. Up or down, left or right, forward, back. It all seemed to work at the same time. So, for the most part, I'm nicely surprised with these new controls we got. But I think right around in here, we're going to call this one at an end. So as always, if you enjoyed it, throw the likes down, put some comments around, subscribe, ding the bell to keep up to date with what we got going on. And from there, just keep being that awesome. Keep having a good one. Bye.